First item on the list, can you see my Outlook?
I can.
Okay, great. Okay, so the first thing that we want to talk about is ribbons. So this transcends all versions, not just Outlook, is the ribbon view. So as you see here, as I'm clicking between things, the top changes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but it's not very apparent that will happen when you click on that. So as I start to hover, you start to see kind of like those file tabs that exist. So that's one of the things that was new in maybe 2007, 2006, somewhere around that time frame, when they released that version of Office that they started coming out with the ribbon. Well, it was really for the purpose of trying to allow for more real estate so that you can have a lot more buttons to allow you to accomplish a lot more tasks with your Outlook versus just stacking this thing up and then putting everything else underneath file views. They wanted to be able to allow users to have that ability. But what they also did is they add these little things right here, which are folder pane minimizers, and they can cause a lot of grief. Because if you do this and this, that will freak someone out if they don't know about the existence of these little arrows. So that's kind of the first lesson that I want to talk about is the ribbon and how you can change this ribbon to get more real estate or get less real estate. Maybe you want to see more information. It's these guys right here. And we get in tickets, not all the time, but occasionally people going, I screwed up my Outlook. Dear God, how can you help us get this fixed? And it's really just you hit the down arrow and it's back. That's it. No one died. Everything's fine. On the left side, you have to hit this guy, and it has this little pin. What do you think that pin does?
Probably secures it in that
Secures
spot.
it, yeah. If I click off of it, it goes right back.
Right.
So if I go like this, and it pins it there, and now it stays.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that's kind of the first thing that I would want to show you is these different tabs that you have. Like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's look at the next thing I think that a lot of times people have is like their inbox or their view of mail messages. So let's see here. Do I have any mail here? Yeah. Okay. So here's a test email that I have from Cody, and maybe you want more information to show on this, right?
Mm-hmm.
To show up here. It's doing it as a view. Let me try doing it. Didn't really want to do it that way, but I think this is probably the best way. So I want to get more data on this. See how these columns now appear when I do that?
Yeah, and you just dragged that
I just
over.
dragged it. Now you can change these columns, and what I'm wanting to try to show you here is how you can change the different views of your Outlook to kind of get what you want. So right now, just to kind of give you a heads up of what's happening is I have in here it broken out by date, and you have these little headers. So as I scroll down, you'll see it says yesterday, then it says, day before yesterday or last week, and then it actually just starts showing you the dates.
Right.
And then I have a read pane. That's what that's called over here on the right. So I have my folder list. I have my emails that are in my inbox that I'm showing right here by clicking on it. And then I have a preview. So as I click on these things, they change. So, here's a reminder about the webinar that we're doing. And then here's a, UVerse version of Verse. Telling about someone, doing some things that in the UVerse that I'm on my reading plan. So, so these are really cool, right? That you have these headers, but you can change them. So you can come under here under the field chooser, and you can throw different things on here. Maybe you want to have contact, conversations, icons. You can change what these are, but it's limited on how much real estate. And so you might have a lot of things listed on this list, but they're not going to show. So let's add a field here. Let's do.
But what I will say too while he's doing that is when
there
it
it is.
comes
It put it there.
to. Oh, it did. When it comes to like this kind of customization, if you're on the browser using Outlook, it does not have this much customization. So just keep that in mind. If you have somebody new coming into your company or somebody who is using the internet version, the browser version of Outlook, that they're not going to have these things. It's a lot more simplified and not as immersive as this one is.
So when I went here and went to field chooser, I was dragging it. It worked the first time, and then it just said no, no, no. Because I didn't have enough real estate, it wasn't showing it to me. Does that make sense? So that's the importance of having enough room as you put these little fields in here. So this is the carbon copy field. So this right here in this situation, these people were carbon copied on this email. So that's why it shows up. So these are very customizable, and you can sort by the different fields that you want to do. So I'm just going to go back to receive because that's what we have here. But then I can remove this column here, and so now it's gone. So the CC is gone. It's back to the way that I wanted. But
right.
A lot of times you might want to see the size of the email. Maybe you want to see if it's got a really large attachment. You can just drag that on there. But what you might have is something like this, right? So now it's a lot smaller, and you start trying to drag fields on there, and you just don't see it. People get kind of confused. Just realize that this adjusts based on how much room that you do. The next thing is the preview pane itself. So if you come here under View, this tab, I can now change what is going to happen here. I can say, you know what? I want the read pane to be on the bottom.
Yes. This is really important for customization of how somebody likes it.
So if you do that, I don't have as much real estate this way, but now I have the read pane this way. So what's nice about that is I have a lot more left to right real estate. So if tabs are very important to you, this is the right view to go, because now you're going to be able to see a lot more content across informations on the columns that you may care about. And you can still kind of get the preview down here at the bottom. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And you can just turn it off. Maybe you don't want to have the preview pane. Maybe you just want to have it all right there.
Right. And then once you click on each individual email, it'll pull up in a window, right?
Yes. So I can double click this email message if I want, and it will open up. It opened up on my other screen, which you can't see, but here it is right here.
Right.
But I can't operate that way because I'm a 3-pane kind of person. And I think it's madness, so I won't do that.
So many windows.
Yeah, but you can change over here. Here's where you can change even more of the read pane options right here. Here's the folder pane, so you can turn this stuff off here on this side. You can even add your to-do list, like your calendar on the right. If you feel like you have enough room to do so, you can add another column here by using that. Now, I don't know about you, but that's a pretty busy calendar. But the real estate really is determines what you can do here. How much, and you can turn it off by clicking here too. How large is your screen? So that's where people that have much larger and higher resolution screens can get away with a lot more information. So then they can start really stacking it up.
Right.
And you can do that. And then they switch their laptop, and then they're like, well, I don't have as much information on my screen. Why is that? Well, it's because your laptop doesn't have as high resolution or as much real estate, and you're just, something's got to give. So that's a very common question that we have.